Well, hello. It's 3:03 p.m. This is live. We are live everywhere, including on dreaded social media, because, well, we have to. Well, we don't have to, but I'm going live everywhere because I think it's important. They captured the crazed killer behind the Moscow murders. Now, you may remember back, I think it was November 13th, 4 college students, 3 females and a male, were stabbed to death in their home, seemingly while they slept, or at least while their 2 other roommates who are uninjured were uninjured. They were sleeping. For now, almost 2 months. Well, yeah, over a month and a half, nearly 2 months. People have been searching. It's been this huge thing. Like, everybody's been talking about it. It's all over social media. Everybody's been talking about it, to be honest. We've covered it a couple of times. I know April's written a couple of articles because you don't see murders like this just happening randomly, with 4 people stabbed to death, and brutalized essentially. And they found 4 people. So apparently, or they've found the killer of those 4 people, according to social media and according to news reporting. And we should get some sort of press conference at 4:00 Eastern. So another 55 minutes, there'll be a press conference, which will bring you live so we can try to understand what information they have. And we're going to, for the next hour, I'm just going to go over everything we know thus far. But first, if you want to support this channel and get some cool shit as well, go to the link that's in your chat right now. Our January Patriotic as F boxes are available. It's in the description of the video. It's also there. If you use code BUNDLE, you get 10% off. Now, we upgraded to the 50 caliber ammo cans because the 30 caliber ammo cans were too small, which is why we did the I Screwed Up bundle. But the new bundles, so if you already ordered in December and you're waiting, if you look now, it shows that it's like pending fulfillment or whatever. I printed all the labels today. We'll have all of those out by next Friday to you, just like I said, first week of January. And if you want to get your second box now, you can do so. These are also going to ship every week. So if you order from now until like Thursday, they're going to ship next Friday. And that's how I'm just going to keep doing them. So, and if you order on the 1st of every month, if you order 1 box in December and you order 1 box in January, you're not going to get the same products in both. You know what I mean? And if you miss out on a particular product that you like, well, tough. But that's how it works. Anyway, so let's talk first about the killing. The killing of 4 University of Idaho students in November at their off-campus home has prompted investigative efforts by the FBI, state police, and city police in Moscow. Now, federal enforcement has said a suspect has been taken into custody. Now, I'm going to go over a huge timeline, which will tell you where we are, or where everyone was up until this, the news broke of this arrest. So on November 12th, Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernudel were all students at the University of Idaho who lived at a nearby off-campus residence in Moscow, a college town of about 25,000 people. They had 2 other roommates in the 3-floor, 6-bedroom apartment. That night, Chapin and Kernudel went to a party on campus, and Mogden and Goncal, I'm going to butcher their names, unfortunately. Not a good choice of words there. Went to a downtown bar. Anyway, 2 of the girls, or I think they're, let me see here. So 2 of the girls ordered food at a late night food truck around 1:41 a.m. The food truck's live Twitch stream showed them doing it. That's kind of cool. It had a live Twitch stream. Anyway, as they waited for their food, they could be seen chatting with each other and other people standing by the truck. 2 students did not seem to be in distress or in danger in any way, said Joseph Woodall, who manages the truck. Chapin and Kernudel were believed to have returned home around 1:45 a.m. and the 2 other people used a private party for a ride home around 1:56 a.m. 2 other roommates at the home who were not injured woke up later in the morning and summoned friends to the home because they believed one of the victims had passed out and was not waking up. A call to 911 was made just before noon about an unconscious person at the residence. Arriving officers found the door to the residence open and discovered the bodies of 4 fatally stabbed students. There was no sign of forced entry or damage. On November 15th, Moscow police issued a statement saying an edged weapon such as a knife was used in the killings. No suspects were in custody. No murder weapon was found, according to police. On November 16th, Police Chief James Fry held a news conference. The department's first in the case, or the first news conference in the case, and reiterated there was no suspect. He also noted that 2 other roommates who were in the home at the time of the attack were uninjured. The chief said authorities are not focusing on them. They're focusing on everybody that may be coming and going from that residence, he told reporters. On November 18th, investigators said they had determined the victims were likely asleep before they were attacked. Detectives had conducted 38 interviews with people who may have information about the killing and had taken the contents of 3 dumpsters near the house in case they held evidence. Investigators also asked local businesses if there had been any recent purchases of a fixed blade knife, according to police updates. Hoping for tips from the community, investigators released a map and a timeline of the victims' movements last week, and the map shows 4 students spent most of the night separated in pairs. On November 20th, police had fielded 646 tips and conducted more than 90 interviews, Chief Fry said at a news conference. He declined to identify who placed the 911 call from the home when the students were slain, saying only the call came from a phone of one of the surviving roommates. He wouldn't confirm which one placed the call, but said that the caller was not a suspect. On November 30th, Moscow police released a list of people who they believe are not involved in the crime, including the 2 surviving roommates, a man in the grub truck surveillance video, the private party driver who took the 2 home, the 2 girls called numerous times that night they were killed, and a person at the home when 911 was called. Police believe the attack was indeed targeted, but investigators have not concluded if the target was the residence or its occupants. On December 5th, there were some rumors circulating online about one of the girls having a stalker. Police said investigators identified an incident in October in which 2 men were seen at a business and one man appeared to follow one of the victims inside as she exited her car. The man did not make contact with her. Investigators contacted both men and learned they were trying to meet women at this business. Detectives said they believed this was an isolated incident and not a pattern of stalking, and said there was no evidence to suggest the men were involved in the killings. And then the latest update, according to this brief thing, said investigators say they're interested in speaking with the occupants of a white 2011-2013 Hyundai Elantra, which was spotted near the crime scene around the time of the killings. Now, what's interesting about that Hyundai Elantra is when they served the warrant this morning on the suspect and arrested Brian Christopher Kohlberger, a 28-year-old who apparently was in a gated community in a home in Pennsylvania. He had a house in Washington State, roughly 14 miles, or I think it was like 10 minutes. His house was 10 minutes away from the house where all these people were butchered, his apartment. And he was a Ph.D. student, or is a Ph.D. student at the University, or Washington University, or State University, studying criminology, which is crazy in itself, right? There's so much stuff online. It's hard to decipher what is real and what is not in terms of what's going around online. That's why I haven't been tweeting out a lot about this, because I don't even know what's real or not. Like, a lot of people are live on social media saying they have a probable cause affidavit for the original warrant that was issued by Moscow police, which is not true. There's a probable cause affidavit specifying why they had probable cause to arrest him, because he had a warrant in NCIS, or NICS, whatever it is, National Information Criminal, blah, blah. So there was a warrant filed by Moscow authorities, and then the Pennsylvania authorities had to write a probable cause affidavit to go after and to use to enforce that warrant. So, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, they're hiding something because they put out, the Pennsylvania trooper put out this probable cause warrant. documenting the arrest of Koberger, but they're not saying anything about murders. That's because they just don't understand how the criminal justice system works. And it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Is Steve going to show the presser? Yes, I am. My mods on YouTube, full freedom to ban whoever you want. I don't care. If people are being annoying, I forgot to make it member only, and I don't really want to go back and try to do it. So just we have, just get rid of whoever. I don't even care anymore about these platforms. I do have an announcement. If I remember to do it at the end of this live stream, I'll do it. Otherwise, we'll do it a different day. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Apparently, this guy that was arrested, this 28-year-old who looks a lot like Lookner. I can't put it like every time I look at Steve Lookner talking about this, I'm like, holy crap, it kind of looks like the guy that he's showing. And I'm not sure if anyone pointed it out. And it probably doesn't really look like him. I just think Steve Lookner is a little bit of a creep, in my personal opinion. And he looks like he's always coked out of his mind. And I doubt he uses drugs. So, sorry, I went off on a tangent there. But yeah, man, it's pretty intense because even CNN has put out some new reporting, which is, I usually don't like to go off of anything from CNN. But Brian Koberger was arrested in Pennsylvania on Friday on an active arrest warrant for murder in the first degree issued by the Moscow, Idaho Police Department in connection with the murders of these students. According to the criminal complaint, which, again, the criminal complaint was for the warrant, not for the original. It was for enforcing the warrant. It wasn't for the original charge of first-degree murder. It says he was arrested on a warrant for first-degree murder issued by the Moscow Police Department and Latah County Prosecutor's Office in Idaho. State and local officials say the murder warrant is in connection to the murders of 4 university students, or University of Idaho students. He was taken into custody, I believe, without incident around 3 o'clock this morning. His mugshot was released around 9:47 or 9:17. And then get this, they towed away a vehicle from his house, a 2013, I think it was, white Hyundai Elantra, which is the same car that they were looking for questioning because of that convenience store clerk. Do you know what I mean? That convenience store clerk that took the video and released the video back in December or back earlier this month, a month after the killings. Someone spent, hours and hours going through surveillance video at a gas station nearby. I think it was located about a mile away, and they were able to discover footage of this Elantra, which is crazy, man. It's crazy. Someone said also 2 people in Idaho were arrested for stealing or something. People waiting to see if it's connected. He said, yeah, and there was some weird stuff. There was something that was posted online. Oh, what the hell is his name? A News Nation reporter, Brian Enton, I believe is his name. He said, according to sources that he spoke to, when this guy, Koberger, was arrested in Pennsylvania, one of the things he said while he was getting his mugshot taken was he asked if he was the only person that was arrested, which leads you to believe that there could be other people involved in this. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, this guy was, a Ph.D. student studying criminology, like he had, you'll see Reddit posts that are going around that haven't been verified whether they're really him or not. Apparently, he was asking people like what was going through their minds before they committed a crime, specifically crimes of violence and stuff like that. What they were thinking, what their life was like. You got to understand too that if his profile, and I'm not an FBI agent, nor am I anybody that knows anything about this, but his profile, meaning like his background, is exactly what I would think someone like this, would be responsible for. He's going for his PhD in criminology, which is the science of crime, so he's literally getting his PhD in criminal justice and criminology. He has a master's degree in it. He runs all these weird studies. He kind of looks like a weirdo. And he's driving the same vehicle that was spotted at the scene. And he lives close. He was captured outside. Like, there's all different. Can you imagine if he was with his entire family for Thanksgiving and they didn't know? And then he was arrested for these heinous murders. And his whole family is like talking to each other right now on the phone, being like, oh my God, my son or my brother, because he had two sisters. One is a psychologist in New Jersey, and he was in this big gated community. And what's interesting is some of the people that know him are now speaking out and saying they're completely surprised, which is what everybody always says. Like, for example, there was this article that was published by the extremely left-leaning Daily Beast that said more than 6 weeks after 4 University of Idaho students were found murdered in their beds, police finally made a move on Friday, arresting a 28-year-old criminology student who studied just miles from the off-campus residence that became the brutal crime scene. We already talked about who it was and why he was arrested. He's ordered to be extradited on January 3rd during a hearing this morning. So he must have waived his extradition. That's the only thing I can think. If he was ordered to be extradited, because in the United States of America, you can fight your extradition, right? And basically, if you fight your extradition, then for example, he's got a warrant, a federal, or he's got a warrant out of Idaho for murder, and he was arrested in Pennsylvania. So what happens is you go to court, and the prosecution in Pennsylvania presents a case not for the crime, because technically he's what's called a fugitive for justice. He wasn't arrested and charged with first-degree murder. He hasn't been arraigned on that. He was arraigned for whatever Pennsylvania titles a fugitive from justice. That's what the actual charge is. And so he was arrested in Pennsylvania, charged with being a fugitive from justice because he has a warrant out for his arrest. The way it works, from what I was able to read today, is that once you're arraigned on the charge of being a fugitive from justice, you then can fight that. In certain states, like I know in Nevada, it's 30 days, because I was reading about a different case where the guy fought his extradition. It's 30 days, basically. And I don't know how it is in Pennsylvania. It could be different. But the one case that I was reading about, the guy essentially had 30 days, or he objected to it. He said, no, I don't want, I'm not waiving my right or waiving extradition, that I'm going to fight extradition. And so that makes the jurisdiction that issued the warrant have to present to a court within a specific amount of time, whatever the state's laws are. I think in Nevada it was 30 days, that the state has to answer that warrant within 30 days. If they don't answer that warrant, the arresting authority has to release them. Because that was a story that I was researching from a couple of years ago. It just popped up on my feed, and I'm like, how'd this happen? Where apparently a guy had a warrant for a violent crime from a different state. I don't remember. He was arrested in Las Vegas. He had fought his extradition. The state that issued the warrant was supposed to answer the warrant within 38 days or 30 days or 29 days. On the 30th day, they didn't answer. A judge released him, and then he went and killed like 3 people. And I don't remember anything else specific about it, but it was just that it had to do with the extradition, and knowing, especially with the FTX founder and all that stuff where extradition has been a common thing, it makes me start to think about it a little bit more. Now, what's interesting about this is NBC News is reporting that a white Hyundai Elantra was also towed from the same Albrightsville home where Kohberger was arrested this morning. Moscow police had previously appealed for public information on a white Hyundai Elantra that was seen in the vicinity of the murders. Public records for Kohberger peg him as a registered libertarian. I think it's really funny that the Daily Beast is trying to put that out there. Fox News did too, because what they're trying to do is the same thing that everybody does. When there's a crime that, because again, I'll be honest and say this with 100% certainty, if these were not white college students, it wouldn't even be on the news. It would not be a big thing like this. And you guys all know it just as well as I do. That's why it's garnishing so much national attention, is because these were, white college kids. And so it's a big attention. There's unsolved mass shootings that, killed 5, 6, 7, 8 people, and they have no idea. What about the mass shooting that happened in Atlanta a couple of days ago, where all the kids were shot and they don't even have any suspects still, and that's like a week ago. But we'll try to keep the social justice crap out of this, because I know some people don't subscribe to listen to that, and some of you do. But that's the truth, Anyway, public records, according to the Daily Beast, say he's a registered libertarian voter with a keen interest in criminal justice and criminology. He's listed as a Ph.D. student by the Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology at Washington State University. However, I believe that has been pulled down. Yeah, Washington State University already nuked his page, just like social media. So social media is erasing it. Reddit is erasing him. Facebook is erasing it. Instagram is erasing all of his accounts. That's what social media does. And that's why so many of the news outlets, as soon as there's something about a big mass shooting or a big, horrible killing like this, social media immediately deletes everything from the public knowledge. So, the media, who should be reporting on that stuff, they're forced to just regurgitate what little information they know about it. And I got to feel like if I was ever running for office, that would be one of my biggest campaign promises, is that I would find a way to enforce that these companies allow people to keep it all up online. You know what I mean? Because the public deserves to know. We all deserve to know. You know what I mean? About mass shootings and about that kind of stuff, and especially the media, because then you can't report it. Anyway, he was a Ph.D. student at the Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology at Washington State University in Pullman, Washington, just 8 miles from Moscow, Idaho. And he completed his graduate studies in criminal justice this year at DeSales University in Center Valley, Pennsylvania. Now, the president of enrollment or whatever at DeSales University confirmed that he received his undergraduate degree and his master's degree from their college, although they've nuked it. In a sense removed post on Reddit from 7 months ago, Kohlberger asked ex-cons to participate in a DeSales research project that sought to, quote, understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime, and, quote, understanding the story behind your most recent criminal offense. In a statement, a spokesperson said, that, like I already said, that Brian Kohlberger was arrested. That is a statement from DeSales. It said it received a bachelor's degree in 2020 and completed his graduate studies in June of 2022. And then the university goes on to say, as a Catholic Salesian community, we are devastated by this senseless tragedy. Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims. Brian Kohlberger was also listed online as studying psychology in 2018 at Northampton Community College in Albrightsville, where he was a member of the Psi Beta. I don't know what the hell that is. Someone else posted that like that was some sort of importance. I don't know what it was. Psi Beta. So I know it's like is it a fraternity or some learning thing? Who knows? Let's just Google it. What is Psi Beta? Oh, it's a community college national honor society. Oh, yeah. So was my wife when she was starting her first 2 years. And he got involved in raising awareness for hidden disabilities. He was also employed as a part-time school security officer, oh my gosh, by the Pleasant Valley School District for several years until last year. Wow, that's sketchy. Nick McLaughlin, who was friends with Kohlberger in high school and vocational school and had been following the Moscow murders, told the Daily Beast that he was floored to see Kohlberger had been arrested. He described him as a, quote, down-to-earth member of his friend group who was overweight when they graduated junior year. But at the start of senior year, Kohlberger was thinner than a rail and turned aggressive, he said. He also picked up a new hobby, taking boxing classes. He always wanted to fight somebody. He was bullying people. We started cutting him off from our friend group because he was no longer 100, or because he was a 100% different person, said McLaughlin. Asked what might have contributed to the change that summer, he said, we have no idea. McLaughlin went on to say that he and Kohlberger would spend half of the school at Pleasant Valley High School before heading to Monroe County Vocational School, where they took classes relating to heating and air conditioning work. He said Kohlberger also took criminal justice courses to potentially become a cop. McLaughlin said the friendship ended when Kohlberger began putting moves on his girlfriend. He was like reaching out to her saying, I can get us a bottle and we can hang tonight, apparently. The arrest signifies a long-awaited breakthrough, blah, 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 and it goes on to say. Now, one thing that was interesting, so this is from, again, CNN. They published this news article, and which is pretty crazy. They said authorities narrowed their focus on the suspect, Brian Kohlberger, who was arrested on first-degree murder on the murder warrant in connection with the killings of the 4 University of Idaho students after tracing the ownership of the white Hyundai Elantra seen in the area of the homicides, according to 2 law enforcement sources. Kohlberger's DNA has also been matched to DNA recovered at the scene of the deaths, according to sources. Authorities discovered he had left the area and gone to Pennsylvania. An FBI surveillance team from the Philadelphia field office had been tracking him for 4 days in the area where he was arrested, according to sources. He was kept under surveillance while investigators with the Moscow Police Department, the Idaho State Police Homicide Bureau, and the FBI worked with prosecutors to develop sufficient probable cause to obtain the warrant. Once the arrest warrant was issued, the FBI and Pennsylvania State Police were able to make the arrest. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy because they apparently found, according to CNN, and we all know they're horrible journalists over there, but according to CNN, the FBI was trailing him for 4 days, right? So that means on Christmas. Oh my, can you imagine if they had they didn't have probable cause at that point, but they said his DNA pinged, right? So his DNA was found in the murder home. They said, they traced his car. Man, there's no way he's not the person. But here's what I'm curious about. When he said, who was it? Brian Enton, right? Is that the guy's name? Brian Enton. Is it B-R-I-N? B-R... It's not Brain Enton. B-R-I-N. Fucking, I hate little laptops. Brian, you know how some people spell it with a Y? So Brian Enton wrote, let me see. Yeah, so look at this tweet. This one caught me off guard. He said, I'm told when Idaho quadruple homicide suspect Brian Christopher Kohlberger was in custody, he asked if anyone else was arrested. And he's told he had a quiet blank stare, which you could see from the photos. I should have been showing you this the whole time. This is what the guy looks like. That's what he looks like. And it's pretty, or it's in the thumbnail of this video. It's very, very crazy stuff, man. It's very, very crazy stuff. So, and like I said, there's a press conference that's coming up in a half an hour. I've already got it loaded and ready to go. So the second it starts, the audio should immediately kick on, and then we will start covering it. And I'll likely just shoot the shit for the next half hour until this does come on and see. Prissy, Texas Tomboy said, did I miss something? How'd they have his DNA to compare to the crime scene? Well, it doesn't, you don't know. Nobody knows. Because here's the thing. A lot of people are saying, did he know them? There's so much information that's not known. I've been listening to the Steve Lookner for a couple of hours now. And he's just funny. Every freaking 5 minutes is breaking news because of something else. But he had like a mental breakdown because someone wrote like something in capital letters, and he had like a whole breakdown, saying, oh, because you wrote in capital letters. Apparently he really hates capital letters. And I don't suggest anyone go into his chat and write capital letters because he hates it. But it was funny because he was showing a picture of this guy, and I'm like, why is he showing a picture of himself? And then I turned on the sound and I realized that guy, it doesn't really look like him because Steve Lookner's nose is way bigger than this dude's, but they kind of look a little similar. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And here's the thing. This press conference today is going to be very bland. They're not going to get into specifics. They're not going to answer a lot of the questions that the media has. I can only guess that that's what's going to happen. I don't think the press conference are going to be like, oh yeah, so let me tell you the whole thing that's going on. I don't foresee that happening. I think they're going to be extremely reserved. They're probably going to say they arrested him, they found evidence, and now they're pushing it to the legal system and blah blah blah. Because this isn't done. You know what I mean? You would always think that they wouldn't arrest anybody until the case was made unless the public was at risk. I can't think how they didn't. I mean, he was under FBI surveillance for 4 days, according to CNN. So you could argue if the FBI felt like they needed to surveil him, then maybe he was a risk to the public, and therefore, why wouldn't they arrest him before? In terms of his DNA being put out there, I don't know. I mean, it could be from Ancestry.com because now they provide all their DNA to the government, if you didn't know that. But in addition to that, it could have been anything. in all reality, it could have been a soda can that he threw out. Maybe that's what the FBI was waiting to get. You know what I mean? Or something. Or they broke into his home like CIA agents and took hair from his comb. Nobody knows. Or he could have been, he didn't have a criminal record, because I think if you're a felon, right, you got to give your DNA now. And there's been all sorts of lawsuits against that. So someone else said that if he was teaching, which is the most absurd thing I've ever heard, because he's a PhD student, so there's a good likelihood that he was teaching other college students, which is freaking frightening in itself, right? Because if this guy is such a nutbag, and how many, and here's the funny thing, because there's so many reporters like that went on Fox News, that went on CNN, that went on MSNBC, and that went on other networks saying with 100% certainty this guy has killed before. There's so many people that were confident in that ability and saying, like, they got to the point where they did a great job at killing, and that's why he's gotten away thus far. There's so many FBI profilers and all that shit that are like, this wasn't like this, like they said that he killed before. And I know April and Darnay and Kate and all these people were looking online trying to look up old cold cases from Pennsylvania. See, it's really kind of crazy. I don't know if he is. Oh, but what I was talking about before I went off on a rant there is about the thing. You paying attention yet? About him being a PhD student, he likely would have to teach courses. I think that's what you have to do when you're going for your PhD, that you would have to teach or be an assistant professor or something like that. And so there were people that are claiming online that if you are an assistant professor, that you have to give your DNA, which is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. Someone said, what part of Eastern Pennsylvania you were in that area? It's just north of Scranton, apparently. That's apparently where it was when you see it on a map. Someone said, what happened to Citizen Stringer TV live stream? What are you talking about on YouTube? Should be live. God Rides a Harley said, do me a big favor, remind Steve to check his DMs on Discord. Yeah, I'm not doing that right now. But yeah, my wife and kids should be finally getting home. Finally. They've been in Jersey all week long. Kate said, yes, my good friend had to teach for their PhD in social work. I can ask about DNA submission now. Hang on, texting her. Yeah, I'm fairly, the website shut down. We couldn't afford to keep it up. That's for MDJU129E2 on Rumble. Yeah, the website shut down. We couldn't afford to keep it up. But yeah. Someone said that gives me the Ring vibes. Yeah, but here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. I'm very confused as to, well, I'm very sure that this guy has likely committed other crimes. I can't imagine that you would graduate from being a law-abiding citizen and never, doing anything wrong to brutally murdering 4 people. Can anyone else? Do you know? I don't know. MDU129E2 is asking, where am I live streaming now? What are you talking about? You were literally watching my live stream. We're live on Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter right now. Every single freaking platform for right now. Cool guy, you agree with me, believing that it's likely not his first thing. Someone said it's scary that he was teaching under surveillance and then he committed this crime. Yeah, because that's when you are teaching as a PhD professor, you're not doing it. It's not like you're unsupervised. I'm guessing you have to have professors there monitoring it. Not supposed to prejudge, but he sure likes that. But it looks the part. Yeah, he absolutely does. He sure does look the part. He looks like a homicidal killer. Let me see, just in case you guys, here's his mugshot photo from CNN. Oop, press wrong button. There you go. Tell me he doesn't look a little bit like Steve Luckner. Just a little bit. Here, watch. 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 Ready? Look over here. No. Look there. Don't just not a little bit. Let me put them side by side. Ready? You don't think? You don't see commonalities there? I mean, the nose is definitely smaller. I'm sure if people point that out to Steve Flutter, he's going to lose his mind. But someone said were other unsolved murders in Idaho that were similar. Yeah, but there were other unsolved murders in Idaho and Oregon that were, or it wasn't, I don't know if it was in Idaho. I think there was one in Washington State and one in Oregon, right? That were similar, but meaning people were stabbed to death and they don't have any suspects and no other information. It didn't appear to be a robbery or anything like that. But he wasn't out in Washington at that point. According to his bio and according to everything we've learned thus far, he was attending college in Pennsylvania for the previous 6 years, grew up in Pennsylvania. What made him choose out here? And the craziest shit about this, to be completely honest, the craziest thing, so you're telling me he went from being in Pennsylvania, so who was he hanging out with in Washington State? There's got to be so many darn questions out there. So many questions out there. If you think about it, because he was in Pennsylvania for years and years, right? Going to college, blah, blah, blah. And then he moves out to Washington State. Let's say he graduated in June of 2022 with a master's degree from DeSales University in Pennsylvania, moves out to Washington, gets an apartment, goes and he does what, 6 months, 7 months? Not even. That was this year. We're still in 2022. So he's out there for 5 months and he finally gets up the courage to brutally murder 4 people. I'm missing that part. Like, because I just don't think that a person goes from being granted, he was probably never normal, but goes from being a regular, everyday, law-abiding citizen to brutally murdering 4 people and doing so in such a way that he nearly got away with it. You know? I don't know. Someone said, I hope the press conference is informative. I doubt it is. But here's something that is informative. What I'm about to tell you right now, and this is super informative. And I'll be honest, I need all your support with this right there in your chat. And it's in the description of this video. If you're watching on Rumble, you could see it in the description. Our Patriot as Fuck bundle. So everyone that already pre-ordered, right? Those boxes are getting built now. They're done. If you go online, you're going to see it's got like a pending shipment. There'll even be a tracking number, but we're not shipped because I printed all the labels. But I'm not shipping them until next week, like I said. But we're doing our new ones, even though typically I release them on the 1st. This one is I released today because I need you guys to go and buy them because I'm opening the coffee shop. I did, however, push it from Monday morning opening to Thursday because I need to get just a little bit more money. Plus, I start the new driving job Monday night, so I need to make sure I'm not overdoing myself in that regard. So what I would ask you guys, if you can, go and buy that bundle. That's the new bundle. We're going to be shipping them every week. So if you order one now, you're going to get it, or you'll get your shipping notice next Friday because I'm shipping them out. I ordered all the ammo cans today for the coffee bundles and all that stuff. So it's pretty awesome. People on Twitch said it's breaking up. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah. Sorry, I just had to take one person off on Rumble. And I just got a Cash App too, which I really appreciate. Thank you. From Ari. Thank you. Someone said his former high school friend said he was very heavy in high school and lost all the weight one summer after he became a bully and tried to steal his girlfriend. I don't know how enlightening that is. Yeah, what did you just get all that information from my dialogue 2 minutes ago? Yeah, I read the same Daily Beast article. They're all writing it. But yeah, so like I was saying, if you can, go to the link that's in your chat. I'll even put it in there again because I need as many people to go and buy this bundle. Starting now, the bundles will start shipping within a week every time because I've now ordered enough. to be able to start doing that. And all the people that ordered the Patriotic as F bundles that were shipping the first week of January, if you order another bundle now, it's a different bundle completely. So you'll have different drinkware, you'll have different shirts, stickers and patches. I'll try. I can't figure out which patch you had because I'm not documenting that, but you'll have a different book and all that stuff. So, and I should put it on a reoccurring one, so it just automatically ones up, because I know there's probably 10 or 15 of you that order it every time. But keep in mind, these are all coming. Originally, they were supposed to be in 30 caliber ammo cans. They're not anymore. Unfortunately, we can't do the 30 caliber ammo cans and fit everything that we're putting into these. So I had to upgrade to the 50 caliber ammo cans, which are a little bit more expensive than what I wanted. But it is what it is. They're cool. They're all grade 1 ammo cans. So if you pay attention to like grade levels, grade 1 is like the best quality can besides, being new, because these are all military surplus cans. I don't buy any grade 2 because they're all beat up. The grade 1s are good. Like anyone who did already receive the I Screwed Up bundle with the 30 caliber ammo cans, you know what I'm saying. I'm also still looking for someone that has one of those Cry Cut or Circuit Cut or whatever that can make me stencils, so that I could spray paint the logo on the side of the can. I would really appreciate that if one of you guys can do that. But what I really, really need, and I need this 100%, I need people to go and buy this bundle today. As many people as can possibly buy it. Or you could do what Tim just did and send a Cash App. I appreciate that as well. Just because we're going through, stuff. Well, I won't tell you that yet. But so yeah, the free coffee shop, we're actually opening on Thursday. I was going to open it on Monday, but I'm starting the new job Monday night, driving the truck, and I'm not going to be able to. I have to reset my whole sleeping schedule because now I'm driving at night. So the problem with that is I'm like drinking a shit ton of caffeine during the day to try to stay up. And then I'm trying to stay up like a little bit later each night until hopefully Sunday night, Sunday into Monday night, I'm up all night. You know what I mean? And it's not working really well. Last night I fell asleep at 10 p.m. and I woke up at 7 this morning feeling really rested. So I'm trying to drink a lot of coffee. Like I've been brewing my own pots of coffee here, just trying to keep it going. So because of that, we're moving the opening for the coffee shop from Monday to Thursday. I'm still opening next week because I just have to. I'm tired of paying $1,500 a month for the store and not having it open. So all of the money that I make off this bundle, besides going to pay for the bundle itself, is going to be used in the coffee shop. I have to get a water machine. You know the water purifier machines? Not purifier. What the fuck are they called? Where you put the 5-gallon thing of water on top and it does that. But they make them for the countertop. So I'm getting one to put on the countertop so that way I can do hot water for free tea and cocoa as well. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And I would like to get some more books and stickers and patches and things that I could sell in there as well to try to make more revenue. You know what I mean? To have the store ready to go. So that's what I'm going to use the money for. And so if you guys can, I hate saying it, but you guys know I don't typically say it unless I need to. And so I need support. So and I don't want you guys just sending Cash Apps or Venmos. I'd rather you get some cool shit out of it, which you can do if you go and order this bundle. We'll ship them by the end of next week. Also, there's going to be some changes on Pure Truth Coffee, but trust me, they're better. Because I have a big commercial coffee grinder, and I was trying to think of ways to essentially, because you guys know how I am with coffee, I throw away coffee after 30 days. So I'm trying to find a different way where I can minimize that waste. Because, and for anyone that doesn't know, we have the freshest coffee ever, and it's amazing at puretruthcoffee.com. But the reason why we do is because I'm so picky about coffee. Like you'll see over here, we have the new Fiery But Peaceful. I put those all together because those are going in the Patriot boxes or whatever, Patriotic as F bundles that are going out next Friday. So I wanted to make sure that those are all done and ready to get shipped out. And so we are going to offer for our 9 main flavors. Those are going to come in ground or whole bean, and it'll be ground the day you get your order. So every morning when I'm in the coffee shop doing it, I'm going to pull the orders of coffee orders that day and literally just grind your beans, put them in there so they'll stay in the big reservoirs until we actually grind them, bag it, and send it right out to you. So it's going to be different than what we typically do. Someone said sell it at a discount. Yeah, I don't want to. Normally I'm pretty good at ordering our coffee, so it's not like I'm throwing away 20, 30, 40 pounds of coffee. That's not what I'm doing. And normally if that's the case, I bundle it all up. I send it to Bruce or April sometimes, or Brad. I need to send April more coffee, I'm sure. But that's what we're doing. So but yeah, someone said, did you use your industry connects to get a driving job you could stream while working? I'd imagine most companies wouldn't dig that. No, most companies probably wouldn't, and I haven't talked to them about doing it. But even if my plan isn't necessarily to do a video stream, it's more of an audio stream. So I'll do that more towards the end. And I guess I could tell you what I was talking about now. Someone said, Steve, vacuum seal the coffee. Yeah, I can't afford that, dude. You know how much that stuff is? That, like a commercial vacuum sealer for coffee bags? Because then you also get to get the particle, blah, 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 and all that stuff. It's just really expensive. So someone said, have you ever heard about these 2 podcast clowns, Medea's Touch or Media's Touch? Yeah. Aren't they? Yeah, they're morons. All right. So this is what I was going to say, because last night kind of caused me to realize that I hate talking about politics the way I've been doing it. So I do have an announcement. I was going to make a video anyway, and then they captured this guy, and I was like, screw it, I'll go live. Many of you guys know I host a podcast called The Rational American. I'm still going to do that. It's just going to be different. It's not going to be live, and I may have some permanent co-hosts. I'm waiting on them to get back and make sure the deal I offered is good. But we may have co-hosts that will run the whole thing with me, the show with me. I'm still, again, waiting on them to let me know if they're on board. But otherwise, I'm going to do that. The Steve Oltey YouTube channel is probably going to be more of like this, if there's breaking news to report. But you'll see over the next couple of months, I'm going to start erasing the old videos to keep my watch hours up. And that's going to be more just towards like a vlog, driving, talking about driving, talking about my life, things like that, entrepreneurship, things like that. And this locals page here, that is going to be where I'm going to be political. That's where I'm going to do my morning rants. That's where I'm going to host. And these 2 guests, or the one guest host and possibly a friend, they will also be posting on their mini video rants several times a day. So that's going to be the best place if you like the politics to do it. I'm just tired of I'm tired of the politics, because like I was saying yesterday to someone, we're so fractured, you know what I mean, between Republicans and Democrats, and everybody is just seemingly oblivious to what's really happening to this country. And I can't say it anymore without just getting sick to my stomach. When you repeat the same thing every single time, it just gets annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stop doing like the daily like news headline shit. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do like long form rants on the rationalamerican.locals.com. We'll have a member only live stream that'll be on there once a week until we can get it more, till we get more of the live stream availability. The podcast will be available everywhere. But it's going to be more of a regular podcast. It's going to be less of like ranting about news. So I'll do interviews, and it'll be pretty much, audio only for the most part. And then like video, pretty much every day I'm going to do a big long form, like morning rant about life. And it may not be about politics. It may just be about being an American, whatever I think that means. Or it may be about just sports. I don't know. It could be about anything. But the reason why, we're doing it, and I invited some other people to become admins on Locals as well, and to build that platform up. I don't want to be a regurgitation of what you're hearing everywhere else. Nor do I want this live stream to be an echo chamber for things that I disagree with. You know what I mean? And yeah. So like that's it. I'll still do breaking news if I have the availability and stuff like this, but I'm going to try to work on the craft. Someone said, how much is locals membership? Well, there's two. You have the free membership, which you just go and sign up and you don't support it. You could do that, and that's perfectly fine. You just can't, you could see all the comments and see all the posts and everything, unless I mark it supporter only, which we'll only do with the live streams, likely. Or you could be a supporter for 10. You could choose your amount. The minimum's $10. And I'm going to do giveaways every month on locals and all that stuff too. Speaking of giveaways, I'm doing a different type of giveaway from now on because of Gail or whoever it was the other day that complained. So what I'm going to do starting, I don't know, the next time I go live, which who knows when it will be, or maybe I'll just do it on Pure Truth Coffee. I'm going to have specifically a link where anyone can go and enter to a monthly contest. And maybe I'll start it on January 1st. That's a good day to do it. Everyone could do and sign up for a monthly contest. And there's going to be 3 choices, right? So it may be a TV or soundbar or an iPad, right? And the people, as you're going, you'll say, okay, you'll fill in your information. You'll agree to get spam mail from us and join our membership, like, our member email thing. But then here's the best part. You'll love this. The best part is you choose what you are trying to win, right? With the free giveaway. And I'm going to take the top item, and that's what we're giving away. So if I put a TV, an iPad, and a soundbar, and the iPad has 70% of the vote, and the TV has like 10%, and the soundbar has like 10% or 20%, then obviously the iPad is going to be the giveaway. When you fill out the form, it's going to send you an email, and that's where you can purchase additional entries, and that'll link back to Pure Truth Coffee, and then you're going to get all sorts of perks for doing that, exclusive discounts on the coffee brand. But I'm so tired of people just complaining when I'm giving away stuff, and then they're like, oh, you're only doing it to people who send donations and all that. So I'm trying to find a better way, and this is the best way. Everybody could do it. We'll do live giveaways all the time. This is separate from the big screen giveaway we're going to do when we get to 150 subscribers on locals. That's its own thing. But someone said, what about everyone who already paid for CS memberships for the year? If you did, they renewed in November 12th. And if you paid attention, they didn't renew on November 12th because we already canceled the platform. So you probably are just tuning in and not seeing it for a while. So there you go. That's your answer. But I do appreciate the people who supported this today. In April, if you remember, I was thinking about something today. Because Citizen Stringer is yours. I think the monetized Citizen Stringer TV YouTube page should be as well. So you should start doing a podcast or something like that. Because I'm sure, April, people would love to listen to you. And I could teach you how to do it really quick. It's super easy. You could use something right on your computer. It doesn't even need to be good. But you should also get that page too. Someone said the press conference is on. No, it's not. I'm on their YouTube page right now, the Moscow Police Department press, as you can see right here. Bam. And it's not live yet. So... but you would love to do it. All right. Yeah. So April, just give me a call or something. Just give me a call either today. All right. So the press conference looks like it could be starting. Looks like they're getting ready to kick it on. And guys, don't be super disappointed if they don't have a lot of information, because see, I just reset that, but we are waiting right now for the press conference. Boom, 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 boom. Jason said you're a proud monthly supporter. Yep. Thank you, man. Yeah, we've got a lot. I mean, we have 28 monthly supporters so far on the Rational American. And like I said, that makes it so I'm not like, I don't have to freaking push the cash apps. I don't have to do all that giveaway stuff. And I'm trying to find a better way so I appease everybody. Because I'll be honest, I know some people don't have $5, I'm not always fortunate to have, Kathy supporting the channel with huge cash apps or Venmos or some of the other people that do it. I don't always have those people, you know what I mean? So, and not everybody has that option. So, and I like doing giveaways. So that's what I'm going to do. Dan said, so this guy was a serial killer. I haven't seen anything else. Robert said, so I'm working. I don't know what the press conference is for. Okay. So remember those 4 college students that were killed, University of Idaho students that were killed back November 13th? they've arrested a suspect in that. He's a 28-year-old college student as well that was at a nearby university about 15 minutes away, University of Washington. He was a Ph.D. student studying criminology. He was arrested early this morning in Pennsylvania. Okay. He had a white Hyundai Elantra, which was the type of vehicle they were searching for as well. So that's that. So now you're updated. They're about to give a press conference. We're going to have to wait and see. You know what I hate about scoliosis? You see how this logo is sideways on this hoodie? It's not. It's actually very straight on the hoodie. I think I need to start printing my hoodies and my clothing at an angle because one of my shoulders sits about an inch higher than the other. You can't really tell because of the muscle, but I could tell when I'm wearing a shirt or something. It's always crooked and it drives me nuts. Maybe I should just lean like this. Lean back. It's flickering like it wants to start, but it's not yet. Let me just refresh this whole damn page. So it's live. Sounds more like possible ex-PhD student if he's found guilty. Yeah. Someone said you have scoliosis, constantly have knots in your back for the muscles are trying to overcompensate. Yeah. I'm just used to scoliosis by now. But that's why I started lifting weights in the first place. All right, here we go. Hopefully the sound is okay. Buy the box. Links in the chat.
Thank you for coming today. Last night, in conjunction with the Pennsylvania State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, detectives arrested 28-year-old Brian Christopher Kohlberger in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, on a warrant for murders of Ethan, Zana, Madison, and Kaylee. I want to personally thank these agencies for their assistance in this case. Kohlberger resides in Pullman, Washington, and is a graduate student at Washington State University. We will provide as much information as we can about the extradition to Idaho and the criminal process. However, due to Idaho state law, we are limited in what information we can release today until Kohlberger has his initial appearance in Idaho court. I want to express my appreciation to our local community, the people of Idaho, and those throughout our nation who provided information to help us investigate these murders has been very impressive. We've received over 19,000 tips, and we've conducted over 300 interviews. To recap this case, on the evening of November 12th, Kaylee and Madison arrived home at about 1:56 a.m. after visiting a local bar and street food vendor. Ethan and Zana were at the Sigma Chi house before arriving home around 1:45 a.m. The two surviving roommates had also been in the community but returned around 1 a.m. On the morning of November 13th, a 911 call was made at 11:58 a.m., reporting an unconscious person at the residence. The call came from inside the home from one of the surviving roommates' cell phones. Moscow police responded and found 2 victims on the 2nd floor and 2 victims on the 3rd floor. On November 17th, autopsies were conducted, and the Latah County coroner confirmed the identity of the 4 victims. The cause and manner of death was homicide by stabbing. Some had defensive wounds, and each had been stabbed multiple times. These murders have shaken our community, and no arrest will ever bring back these young students. However, we do believe justice will be found through the criminal process. This was a very complex and extensive case. We developed a clear picture over time, and we stand assured that the work was not The work is not done, but be assured the work is not done. This has just started. Since November, we have remained laser focused on pursuing every lead in our pursuit of justice for the victims and their families. I recognize the frustration with the lack of information that's been released. However, providing any details in this criminal investigation might have tainted the upcoming criminal prosecution or alerted the suspect of our progress. We will continue to provide as much information as we can as the process moves forward. Today, I want to specifically thank our dedicated Moscow Police Department detectives, patrol officers, the Idaho State detectives, the Idaho State troopers, and their crime lab technicians and scientists, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation for the resources and personnel to conduct this massive investigation. It was the dedication of them and the persistence and the numerous hours that led to an arrest. Fortunately, these highly skilled people worked together as a cohesive team to solve this case. I also want to thank our community and the nation. Over the past 6 weeks, I've been continually reminded of how much our community cares. Locally, public support has been exceptional with kind words, food for investigators, and letters of support. You will never know how much your words of encouragement help us through these trying times. I appreciate each of you and each of your kindness. Agencies and individuals from across the nation have reached out to us to express their support to this department. I'm reminded how our Moscow community, our families, and the nation has been impacted by this daily. Finally, I do want to thank our media partners for the help. You kept this in the news, you helped us with tips, you kept things going, and we truly appreciate that. And you are the product of those 19,000 tips that we received, which is an impressive number. I would like to invite Bill Thompson, the county prosecutor, up at this time.
Good afternoon, folks. My name is Bill Thompson. I'm the Latah County prosecutor. And it's sad to be here, but happy to be here at the same time. As Chief Fry indicated, a criminal complaint was filed yesterday here in Latah County, charging the defendant, Mr. Kohlberger, with 4 counts of first-degree murder, in addition to felony burglary, which involves entering the residence with the intent to commit the crime of murder. Mr. Kohlberger, and let me preface, there's a pending case now in court, and I and my office and the investigators have to live with the restrictions that our Supreme Court places on pretrial publicity. That said, I promise you we will share with you through the court process or otherwise whatever we are allowed to. I just appreciate your patience on that. The factual basis for the charges are summarized in what's called a probable cause affidavit that is on file with the court. According to the rules of the Idaho Supreme Court, that is sealed until Mr. Kohlberger is physically back in Latah County and has been served with the Idaho arrest warrant. At that time, we expect that that affidavit will be available to you so you can share the true facts with all of your readers and your watchers and your listeners and all of the people who are interested and really need to know what's going on. So please have patience with us on that. We hope to get that to you as soon as we can. As far as Mr. Kohlberger, I can share with you that he is a graduate student at Washington State University and has an apartment residence over in Pullman. He has had an initial appearance in front of a judge in Pennsylvania. He is being held without bond, and the warrant from our magistrate judge here also provides for no bond. We understand that he's scheduled to be back in court in Pennsylvania next Tuesday afternoon, and that a public defender has been appointed for him there. The process at this point is, since he was arrested in another state, he has the opportunity to either waive extradition and return voluntarily to the state of Idaho, or if he prefers not to waive extradition, then we will initiate extradition proceedings through our governor's office. if we do that, it can take a while for him to get here. So again, I'm asking for your patience and understand that's just the way the system works. Once he gets here, he'll have an initial appearance with our magistrate. They'll deal with issues such as making sure competent counsel is representing him, and the case will be scheduled for further hearings. Your primary source of factual information is going to be the court record, because that's what the Supreme Court says we need to refer you to. So please pay attention to what's going on in court and have people there to watch and hear what's being said. As an attorney, myself and my office, we are limited on what we are allowed by the courts to say outside of the courtroom. So please just work with us. Finally, as the chief indicated, this is not the end of this investigation. In fact, this is a new beginning. You all now know the name of the person who has been charged with these offenses. Please get that information out there. Please ask the public, anyone who knows about this individual, to come forward, call the tip line, report anything you know about him to help the investigators and eventually our office and the court system understand fully everything there is to know about not only the individual, but what happened and why. Next, I'll introduce Colonel Ked Wells from the Idaho State Police. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Kedrick Wills. I serve as the director of the Idaho State Police and certainly want to express our appreciation for your attendance here today. These tragic murders took 4 young, vibrant lives from our community. Nothing we do can bring them back. The only thing that we can do in law enforcement to honor their memories that we know of is to bring this to a successful conclusion. This has been a very difficult time for the families, the university, the community, and the state of Idaho. However, it is also proven that communities come together in tough times. Certainly appreciate the support of the local community and our national audience that has been following us as our investigators have worked through this case. I'm thankful also to you, the media partners, who have helped keep this case in the forefront that generates the tips and we hope will continue to generate information that will help us to a conclusion of this proceeding. I'd like to express our appreciation on behalf of the Idaho State Police to Chief Fry, his leadership, and the entire Moscow Police Department for the way that they handled this from the very beginning. He directed the right people to the right positions that led us to this conclusion today. I've had the utmost confidence in this investigation and in Chief Fry, as well as in Mr. Bill Thompson and the Latah County Prosecutor's Office, who've been a great partner throughout this. Nothing has deterred the commitment of the investigators who've worked on this case, regardless of the organization they represent. It's been very trying and very difficult, as you know, that it has been on those investigators as they do the tedious work that they're so good at doing. The partnerships is what's led here as well. The partnerships between Moscow Police Department, I'd like to express our appreciation with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, specifically the special agent in charge out of the Salt Lake City Division, Dennis Rice, and also the work that happened in the last 24 hours in Pennsylvania with the arrest with the Pennsylvania State Police and Colonel Evanchik with the Pennsylvania State Police. We appreciate what they've done across the nation to help us as well. As Bill shared, this investigation is far from over. In fact, I appreciate what he shared, that this is not an ending, but rather a new beginning. The difference now is, as he shared, that we are dictated what information we can share by the court process and by laws in our state of Idaho. And so we will share, as he shared, Mr. Thompson is absolutely committed to share everything he can share through the court process. We've got to make sure that we don't get in front of that process. And we really deeply appreciate everybody's support here. The relationships that were forged here and the partnerships that were forged have led to this. And based on that is why we're here today. And we continue to believe that the best way we can honor these 4 lives that have been taken is to make sure that we have a successful outcome here. One of the partnerships that's been forged throughout this is a partnership with the University of Idaho. And on that, I'd like to introduce the president of the University of Idaho, Mr. Scott Green. Thank you. Good afternoon. Scott Green, President, University of Idaho. Today's news of arrest is a welcome one. It's relief to our university, our community, and our extended Vandal family. The outpouring of support over the past 6 weeks helped sustain us during the most trying time. It provided the strength that helped us navigate the international scrutiny visited on our students and employees. We are truly thankful for the compassion and acts of kindness shown to our community. Kindness is contagious, and it provided the light that reclaimed ground lost to evil and darkness. We first want to acknowledge and thank Governor Little for the early promise of financial support that enabled the university to secure our campus and focus on helping our students and our employees in the wake of the crimes. We also appreciate the Idaho State Police and the highly visible security presence that brought comfort and calm to a community shocked and confused by the senseless crimes. We never lost faith that this case would be solved and are grateful for the hard work of the Moscow Police Department and their law enforcement partners. Vast and committed FBI resources brought important expertise to this complex case. Across the board, dedicated, highly competent personnel worked this case to arrest. This crime has nevertheless left a mark on our university, our community, and our state. While we cannot bring back Maddie, Kaylee, Zaina, and Ethan, we can thoughtfully and purposefully carry their legacy forward in the work that we do. Our students come first, and that was proven each and every day of this investigation. We are committed to safely delivering the college town atmosphere, campus experience, and high-touch quality education for which the University of Idaho is known. With time, we will heal. We will move forward together, and we will remain Vandal strong. With that, I'd like to turn it back over to Chief Fry.
So now we will open the floor to questions. However, I want to remind everyone, as Prosecutor Bill Thompson explained, any factual information regarding the arrest of Kohlberger is currently sealed per Idaho law and will not be released until he has appeared in an Idaho court. Please formulate your questions accordingly. I recognize there are a lot of questions, and I will try to answer as many of them as I can. Is there an evergreen or
Lauren Patterson, Northwest Public Broadcasting, Spokane Public Radio. I realize the records are sealed. I guess I'm not too familiar with how it works, but can you tell us what tip, what lead, what piece of evidence really led you all the way from Idaho to the suspect in Pennsylvania?
As I've said in the past, that's part of our investigation, and we won't be releasing that this time. We will have those answers. We'll have them as soon as we can make those available to you.
Then a quick follow-up and a two-parter. Is our community safe, or is law enforcement still on the search for other suspects who might be involved in this attack?
What I can tell you is we have an individual in custody who committed these horrible crimes, and I do believe our community is safe, but we still need to be vigilant, right? We still have talked about this in the past. We always need to be aware of our surroundings and make sure that we're aware of what's going on.
Hi, Chief. How soon into the investigation did police and law enforcement begin to spot Mr. Kohlberger as a potential suspect? And a follow-up, how many tips, if you can say, were specifically related to Mr. Kohlberger?
To the tip part, honestly, I can't answer that question, so I'm not even going to speculate on that. On the other part, that's part of our investigation, and it will come out. I'd like the mic to please come right over here.
Thank you. Dana Griffin with NBC News. Can you confirm that Kohlberger asked whether or not anyone else had been arrested when he was in custody?
I cannot confirm that, or I'm not sure of that information, but that would still be a part of our investigation.
Did CODIS initially return any hits on this guy?
That's still part of our investigation. That will come out. If we could get somebody over here, please.
And then one final question. Is there any message to the online sleuths who slandered and harassed people who they believed were responsible?
There was a lot of speculation going on, and we've always said from the very beginning that we're the official message that comes out, and to pay attention to what we're putting out there to the press.
I'm Nancy Liu with News Nation, and we were over at the house this morning, and you told us that the remediation would begin today. It was suddenly stopped. Can you tell us why?
Yes. The house cleanup has been halted, and that came by a legal request from the court.
Christina Corbin, Fox News. Chief, have you identified a motive?
That is part of the investigation, and that will come out as we continue the investigation. But what we still ask is for people to continually send us things in the tip line. We are still looking for more information. We're still
They're
trying to build
literally
that
not
picture, just like
providing
we have
any
stated all
information.
along.
What's the point
We're
of
putting all the
answering
pieces
questions
together, and that will help.
I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but
Chief Veronica Miracle with CNN. Any indication that the suspect knew the victims?
That's part of the investigation as well. It won't be something that will come out at this point in time, but as we continue the investigation and as this case goes to trial, that will be brought forth.
Have you spoken to the families? Can you tell us what they've told you today?
Are you talking the victims' families? Yeah, we have reached out to the victim's family as we always do. We've done that daily, and we've continued to have contact with them.
Hey, Nate Sanford, you mentioned earlier that you're still seeking tips about Brian and that people should still share whatever information they have. Can you speak at all about what specifically people should be reaching out for, like if they know something?
I would say anything and everything. As we've said all along, we know what tips we're looking for. We will take those tips and we will have professionals look at those and decide which pieces of those we need to use for our case. So we ask that everybody would do that.
Angela Palermo, Idaho Statesman. Your department and other investigators on the case took a lot of flack for keeping information close to your chest. Are you glad that you did that, and were you worried about tipping the suspect off?
I will 100% stand behind the way that we handled this investigation. And this all started from day one with our patrol officers arriving on scene, locking down the scene, us calling in the Idaho State Police, us calling in the FBI, and keeping information that was pertinent to this case very, very tight. We want to have a situation where when this goes to trial, there is no doubt that we've done everything right and we've slowed down and we've continued to slow down. We'll continue to do that.
Hey, Chief. Have you guys found the murder weapon or the Hyundai Elantra?
So we are still looking for all pieces of evidence, but we are still looking for the weapon. And I will say that we have found an Elantra.
That's the Elantra they found
Stephanie
at
Becker
this
with
guy's
CNN.
home
Can you
in
tell
Pennsylvania.
what it was like when you
They
got the
towed
phone
it
call
at
when the
9:47
police
this
told
morning.
you that they had your suspect?
I can tell you for a lot of law enforcement, it was a fairly sleepless couple of days with as we were leading up to everything that we were doing. But what I can tell you is I have faith in those agencies across the nation. I have faith in our officers. I have faith in the FBI, and they did a great job. But
I can't believe it
there
didn't
was,
leak. They were
sometimes, even throughout.
I can't believe it didn't leak. They were surveilling him for 4 days. The FBI. They let him have Christmas with his family. What the
Can you
fuck?
talk a little bit more about the suspect's connection to Pennsylvania?
All I know is that he lives in Pennsylvania.
Chief Guy Tannenbaum from Nonstop Local KHQ in Spokane. More about the Elantra. We saw reports that you mentioned that you recovered an Elantra, but can you specify where that was found? And we know that that was one of the biggest pieces of information you were asking from the public to tip. Were you able to provide an information on whether those tips led to this seizure of an Elantra?
That's still part of the investigation that will come out in the future.
Chief Glenn Mosley, Idaho Public Radio here in Moscow. The additional police presence in town and on campus, semesters coming. Is that going to continue?
You will continue to see state troopers in the area. We're talking to Latah County as well. You will see a presence of us that we're always have up on campus. We have assigned officers to that. So you will continue to see a law enforcement presence. I'm going to take 2 more questions.
He's got to go to the bathroom.
Julie Scott, ABC News. Can you tell us if you eventually had a license plate number to the Elantra and how you tracked it to Pullman?
That's still part of the investigation that will come out.
Chief, hi, Matt Lovelace with the Monroe College of Communication. I want to ask about Mr. Koberger as a graduate student at WSU. Are you aware of if he returned to campus after November 13th? And have you had any communication with departments on the WSU campus about his attendance?
So some of that is going to be followed up as we continue our investigation. We'll be asking some of those questions, but that'll come out in the near future. So what I do want to do is I want to thank you all. You really have been the national voice for us. You've given us the opportunity to...
They're pandering so much to the media. It's disgusting,
and
actually.
we'll continue to look forward to working with you in the future on this. So I'd like to thank you for that and thank you for your time.
All right, so what did we learn during that press conference? Nothing at all. And I'm not saying that to be rude or anything, but they didn't talk about anything. So we know Brian Kohlberger was arrested this morning around 3 o'clock in the morning by an FBI SWAT team. He was under surveillance for 4 to 5 days prior by the FBI. He was allowed under surveillance to have Christmas with his family, which doesn't make any darn sense to me. But a little bit about this 28-year-old Ph.D. student from the University of Washington, or Washington State University, I believe, not the University of Washington. He was going for his Ph.D. in criminology. He had moved to Washington, from what I'm able to gather, he moved to Washington shortly after graduating with a master's degree in liberal arts and criminology from a university in Pennsylvania, where he also got his, I think it was not Dubois. I forgot what it is. I forgot what college it was. Do something. I don't remember. I could look for it, but fine, I will. Hold on. DeSales University. So he got his bachelor's degree and his master's degree from DeSales University, which is located in Center Valley, Pennsylvania, at which time he apparently got into Washington State University, and then he moved to Pullman, Washington, which is essentially 8 miles from the crime scene where these 4 innocent people were butchered in their own home November 13th. Now, what's interesting is, one, he was a criminology PhD. Some of the other stuff that's interesting. Someone said, Tasha said, we did learn things. We didn't learn what y'all want to hear. No, we didn't learn anything from that press conference. Who was that? Tasha? No, we didn't learn anything from that press conference because, unlike you, we've all been here talking about all the actual real facts as it relates to this prior to the press conference starting. So if you go back and you watch the first half of this video, I go through the whole timeline of the murders, the timeline of the tracking. On December 13th, they a month after the murder, they released that they were looking for that white Hyundai Elantra. They didn't specify during this press conference that the white Hyundai Elantra that they have located was located in the driveway of Brian Kohlberger's home, where he was arrested this morning. They didn't talk anything about DNA or the fact that CNN is now reporting that how they captured him is pretty crazy, because they traced his ownership of the white Hyundai Elantra seen in the area of the homicides, according to law enforcement sources. Kohlberger's DNA was also matched to DNA recovered at the scene of the deaths, according to sources. Authorities discovered he had left the area and gone to Pennsylvania, according to sources. An FBI surveillance team from Philadelphia field office had been tracking him for 4 days in the area where he was arrested, according to sources. He was kept under surveillance while the investigators from the Moscow Police Department, the Idaho State Police Homicide Bureau, and the FBI worked with prosecutors to develop sufficient probable cause to obtain the warrant, according to the sources. And once the arrest warrant was issued sometime last night, the FBI and Pennsylvania State Police were able to make an arrest. Those are the facts. Those are the facts that we know right now. CNN is the worst, with all due respect. Yeah, because they list unnamed sources all the time. You came in the video late. Well, there you go. And because you guys may have come in so late, you probably didn't know some very important details that I feel like it's my duty. First, I want to give a shout out to someone because you are amazing. Judy W. You ordered a Rational American box, and while you're checking out, it gives you the option to leave a tip, and you left a $63, I think it was, dollar tip. I so appreciate that so much. I do see it, and I can't call it out all the time, but I did see yours, and I truly appreciate that because, you know, we're trying to raise a bunch of money. For anyone that doesn't know, I own a coffee shop. And we were scheduled to open on Monday, but I'm pushing that back because things are tight for Americans just like they are for me. I'm not, different than anybody else. So I actually took a full-time job. I'm going to be driving a truck at night doing what I thought was just a regular route to Richmond. And now they're like, oh, you may have to run to Pennsylvania as well. And I'm like, that's bullshit, because Pennsylvania, I-81, that's where all the freaking accidents are with truck drivers. I don't want to run that route. But I was like, whatever, I'll still take it, even though you lied to me. So I'm going to have a split route, which apparently 2 or 3 days I'll run down south, 2 or 3 days I'll run up north. They called me to tell me that today, which is crap. But you know what? I'll still gladly do it because it's going to be fun. But because of that, I'm actually delaying the opening of the store. But not very long. We were going to open on Monday. Now I'm going to open on Thursday to make sure that I can get into the new schedule that I need to for staying up all night. So one of the things, there's a couple of little things that I got to buy chairs for the store. I haven't done that yet. I got to buy like a coffee, a water dispenser essentially is the easiest way to say it, that goes on the counter. I could put a 5-gallon thing of water on, and then it will heat up the water. So that way I can offer coffee and tea, or cocoa and tea, which wasn't something that I was going to do. But then I said, screw it, I'm going to do that as well, plus some other stuff to go in the store. So what I'm asking everyone to do, if you want to support us via the links over here, you could do that. But what I prefer you do is get our brand new Patriotic As F bundle pre-sale. Now, if you already ordered it, so say you ordered in December, right? Your boxes, you're going to see from your shipping email. Actually, it's not going to send you the shipping email till next Friday. But if you go into your account, you're going to see it's marked as shipped, even though we're not shipping them until next Friday. But you're not going to get the same box. So essentially, if you order a box in December and then you order a box today, even though it's not January yet, but you order a box today, or you order a box in January and you order a box in February, they're all going to be different. On the first of every month, we're switching all of the products that are going inside, except for the coffee. It's always going to be the Fiery But Peaceful Riot Edition coffee, which is like a hot cinnamon candy coffee. It smells almost as good as the pumpkin. And anyone who ordered our Trumpkin coffee, you know how good that smelled, like a French vanilla. They smell really good. That one, it smells good. I almost have to brew some flavored coffee, even though I'm not a big fan of flavored coffee in general. But it smells very, very good. All of these are, in what's inside these Patriotic As F boxes. Well, and you're saying inside, what do they come in? They come in a 50 caliber surplus ammo can. Originally, we were going to do 30 caliber, but I'm putting too much stuff in it and there's not enough room. So we upgraded to the 50 caliber cans. And so depending on whether you order a t-shirt or hoodie box, you'll have either 2 t-shirts or a hoodie, depending on which one you order. You'll have a custom piece of drinkware. Hint, they're going to be tumblers. Then you're going to have a bag of the coffee. You're going to have a bunch of stickers. You're going to have a book written by a veteran, a bunch of other products that I throw in, plus gift cards, free TVs, shit like that I put in all the boxes. if you have, and here's the thing, use code bundle right now and you'll save 10% on your order. If you do have with the bundle, it works out to like $130 with shipping if you're using that code. If you have an extra $130, which means you're fortunate, but it also means please consider going over there to puretruthcoffee.com to the link that's in the chat right now and purchase one of those bundles. Again, you can use the code bundle, right? And you'll get 10% off your order. But it will greatly help us, because I'll be honest, I'm using the money to buy the stuff that goes in and then the coffee shop. That's what I'm doing, because I got to get some other stuff, and we are 100% opening on Thursday. We're going to be open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We're going to, essentially the plan right now is to be open every single day. Limited hours is shit, probably 7 o'clock in the morning till like 11:30. And then on special events, when the small town is doing something, we'll stay open a bit later. But primarily it's a coffee shop, and we want to encourage people to come get coffee and then get the heck out of the store. Which I'm like, why am I even buying chairs? But it's for aesthetics in the front. I got to get like really uncomfortable chairs. But that's what I need. That's what I really do. I have quite a few viewers watching across all social media and Rumble. What I need is people to go and just buy out all of these boxes. I've made a huge push just once or twice before where, we had total sales where we broke our daily record ever of $4,000 in total sales in the day. If we could break that record today or over the weekend, it would do everything that I need to do in terms of getting the store up, getting it ready, getting it open. Also, just because last night you may have seen I rage quit. That's what a lot of you guys said. I rage quit my live stream. I was planning on ending anyway. I just made it look like a rage quit after one person decided to be extremely homophobic and write homophobic slurs in my Facebook chat. I've made the decision, guys, that I'm not going to be doing the same kind of show anymore. So for the people that have been watching me for a long time, it's kind of like a newsy, ranting, political show, but more focused on the headlines and current events and like extremely current events, stuff like that. I'm not going to be doing that anymore. Like essentially last night was the last time I'm doing it. What the Rational American Show is going to be more of a full form podcast, opening monologue, rants back and forth. I'm trying to add co-hosts to the show, permanent co-hosts too. So, and work on a schedule with that. And the rationalamerican.locals.com, which you see right below, is going to be the only outlet where I'm doing a morning rant. We're doing little video rants, stuff like that, exclusive member content. The Facebook page, the YouTube page is going to be something different. I may do like breaking news and shit like this, but for the most part, it's just going to be almost like I hate the word, but a vlog, right? Where I'm ranting about stuff, maybe gym stuff, maybe game stuff, maybe just entrepreneur stuff, whatever I want. The main reason is many of you guys who actually cover or follow the main news cycle all the time, exactly what I'm talking about. We have for months now been regurgitating the same news that everybody else is. You know what I mean? We're even if we do it first, it's still the same thing. We're hearing the same thing. We're not hearing we were talking about something, or I was talking about something with Adam last night, right? And we're talking about all the issues that are big and everything, and then we're like, the thing that nobody's talking about, everybody's talking about the same thing: CRT, this, trans stuff, Trump. Everybody's talking about the same thing, but nobody's talking about any solutions. Nobody has any solutions to fix them. And I don't know what the solutions are. I don't know either. But I realized that after doing some market research yesterday and listening to a bunch of super liberal podcasts and then listening to a bunch of super conservative podcasts or right-leaning podcasts, I realized we are directly contrasting the opposite side. We're not trying to find any way to work together. Democrats are attacking the right as much as the right's attacking the left. And they're both saying they're doing it as defense, right? They're not being the offensive one, blah, blah, blah. And I just realized that no matter what I do and how I'm putting out content, it's not a pure representation of what I'm trying to get out. You know what I mean? Because it's being overshadowed by all the hyperbole. I love that, saying the word that way. But all of the stuff that all the social media commentators are talking about. And so what I'm going to be doing is taking a couple of weeks, revamping the Rational American Show, where it's not just going to be about politics. Sure, it's going to be about current events and life and stuff, but I may go on a rant about sports, or I may go, or another host may go on a rant about something else. The RationalAmericanLocals.com is going to be very much the same. Every morning when, who is the guy the rap Run DMC guy that used to sit in a bathtub every morning, and he like did his morning thing where he typed it out on his BlackBerry? I'm going to do something similar where I'm going to write every day just a random thought. And that's what I'm going to be doing on that platform. Plus, that's where all my video rants and stuff are going to be. The Facebook, I came so damn close.
Thanks for all the subjects you cover.
Thank you.
I especially appreciated your coverage of the BLM Antifa riots back in 2020.
Oh,
there was no better coverage out there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, JL, for that super chat. But what I was saying, and I forgot it. It's going to be different. So all the video rants and all that stuff. Like yesterday, I came so close. I was even telling my wife, I'm just going to nuke the Facebook page, the 120,000 followers, just nuke it completely and just be done with it. Because I realized too, and here's the thing, like Brian isn't a representation of everybody. Brian, the person that wrote the homophobic comment yesterday in the chat, he's not a representation of everybody that watches the show. And it was unfair of me to end the show because of him. I could have simply disbanded him or something like that, taking the time to do it. But I realized that what everyone has to, I made a good point, I think, yesterday, is saying that when I rant and I talk to a camera right now, I'm not reading off a script. I don't have notes. And I can make sure that even no matter how I feel, that I'm not saying racist or homophobic comments, or, you know what I mean? I'm not being, all of the things that the left says we are. Do you know what I mean? So to me, sometimes, like yesterday, it really caught me because I couldn't figure out how, when you guys, not you, when Brian was typing out that comment, that he couldn't realize that he's being exactly what the left says he is. Do you know what I mean? And it flipped me. It made me so mad yesterday because ultimately, when they type something like that in the chat, it doesn't affect them. Sure, they get their Facebook banned and they get to blame, all they want about censorship and this and that Facebook has censored them. But here's what it really affects. It affects me because Facebook sees a comment from you and they ban me, or they delete all the other comments, or all the comments around you where people are being offensive to you because they disagree with your comment, and they're getting, notices from Facebook. Or worse yet, that becomes a representation of all the viewers, which has happened before. And so I'm going to be changing the Rational American Show to more of a Rational American Show, because it was the same thing as Wake Up America. You know what I mean? Wake Up America was a great podcast that was just about the current events and news and everything that was currently taking place. I'm going to change the way I do the show and just talk about life, what it's like to be a rational American from my perspective and from the perspective of others. And I talked to, I don't know. I asked Adam to come back and host a show with me twice a week. So now you can all put pressure on him and say, come on, dude. And I offered him to split, the membership on locals and all that, because I do better, with having another host to kind of keep me from going too far off the rants. So Tony, someone said, how many Facebook viewers do you think you have? Are you asking me how many I have? Because I could tell you if I really needed to. But see, that's the thing too. That's one of the things that frustrates me as well. You can see on Facebook, I have 114,000 followers in the main Facebook page, right? And we may have 100 viewers or so on Facebook. But here's the crazy part. When we go live, nobody hears it because we're being shadow banned. We're being blocked. A lot of members have unsubscribed because you're not getting the kind of content that I want to produce. So what I'm going to do is try to just get more creative. I want to talk about other stuff, not just the politics, not just the bad shit. Of course, we're going to still do it, but the Rational American podcast, it's going to be released 2 days a week. It's probably not ever going to be live. It'll be a produced podcast that's released 2 days a week, likely. I don't know the day yet, but you'll figure it out. And then the YouTube page we may use as like a rant page, or like doing video rants and stuff like that, but also to promote the locals channel and do all that. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is that the show's going to be different. because there's too many people that are just ranting about doing the same, talking about the same thing. And I don't want to do that. I want to affect America in a positive way. And I don't think I'm doing it by just regurgitating the same stuff. I don't know how it's helping anybody. Do you know what I mean? I really don't know how it's helping anybody. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's because you're losing viewers and you're not making money. I make more money doing these live streams than I even feel I should. And thankfully, because of you guys, you know what I mean? And that's part of it, to be completely honest with you, is I do a show and I'll make $200 to $300 on a 2-hour video. I don't like the video. You know what I mean? And I can't expect people to continue paying or I certainly don't want to get the expectation that I deserve that video by making something that I view as subpar. Does that make sense? And that may not make sense, but that's the thing. So I want to make the show what I believe you guys deserve and the viewers deserve, and even the people that can't contribute, the people that go and buy the Patriot Oz F boxes and all that stuff. And so with that, I'm going to be restructuring the way I've been doing the show because I don't like it. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I'm going to do. I placed your order April. Steve, only husband's birthday is January 11th. Wasn't a place to leave a note. I wonder if I can do that for you. There is a place to leave a note when you're checking out under the comments section. Eden, are you, does your name begin with a B? Bum, 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 bum. It's called work ethic. Yeah. Eden, does your name begin with a B? Because I can make the note. I can't guarantee I'll remember, but maybe I can throw a card in there. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Boom, boom. Edit. Yeah, I can add a note. What was your husband's name? Hold on. What should I write Eden's husband? Yeah, I'll just do that. Let's write Eden's husband. So that way I can catch it. But yeah, so that's where I'm going. I had a long conversation with my wife yesterday about it all, and I really wanted to find I want to make the show what I envision it could be. You know what I mean? And you guys may remember I used to listen to the show all the time. You know what I mean? I used to listen to my own show. I don't do it anymore because I don't necessarily like it. You know what I mean? And granted, some of you still do. I know that because I get the super chats and cash apps and Venmos and the stuff, all that stuff. I just want to do other stuff, and things that are more fulfilling, I guess is the easiest way to say it. So just keep that in mind. Like I'm political. I've always been political, but I'm just going to try to keep that to the rationalamerican.locals.com. And then the other social media channels, I'm still going to be on them. They're just going to be a little bit different. The Steve Oatley Facebook, the Steve Oatley Rumble, the Steve Oatley YouTube. Those are going to be different pages. And the Citizen Stringer TV and all that stuff, I'm just going to put that over to April. So April probably could pick up the slack and start doing new videos on news headlines and breaking news as it comes out, because I could teach her how to do it, and I'll give her a monetized YouTube page that she can start making money off. But someone said, will you still be airing the House and Senate hearings? No, I can't. Can't. Someone said, Steve, I'm sure you're aware of what's been happening on News to Share. No, I haven't. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing, just so everyone has an understanding. I'm not sure when the next time I'll go live is. Could be 20 minutes from now, even though I'm always like, I'm going to take the weekend off or something like that. I am not doing a live stream tonight because to be honest, I haven't seen my wife and kids since Wednesday. It's only been 2 days, but I miss them. And they're home now. So I'm going to go and spend the night with them. And then I got to work more on printing shirts and getting all these boxes ready to ship out. And, Yeah, so I'm just going to do that. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do that right now is to go over to puretruthcoffee.com, click on bundles, and then up at the top, you'll see Patriotic as F bundle. Buy that. We will be shipping them weekly, okay? So it's no more of that 30-day, pre-order stuff. All of the ones that were ordered in the past month, all the ones that were ordered in December, those are shipping next week. If you go into your account, you're going to see it's got a shipping number because we already printed all the labels. I'm getting ready to do it. And then every single other order. So if you order on a Monday, you're likely going to get a shipping on Friday because we're going to ship them out weekly. I've gotten to the point where I can keep a little bit of stock, even though I hate doing it. So what I ask all of you to do, and then I'm using all the extra money from that for the coffee shop. So it's super imperative that I raise as much money as I can right now through selling these boxes because it's going to allow us to have more shit in the coffee shop when we open. Because right now it's pretty darn bare. And I would like to open up with, have some other books, maybe have some of these Patriot boxes available for sale there, all that stuff. So that's what I have to say about that. I will likely not see you guys until next week at some point. But make sure you follow the rationalamerican.locals.com. That link right there. April will throw it in the chat, I'm sure. Write it. Screenshot this right now. Go on your phone so it screenshots it. Go to that link. Become a member, which is free, or a supporter, which I prefer, which is like $10 a month, or you choose your amount, because that's where I'm going to be every single day. And I'll share it out to social media to try to get you guys to go over there. But that's going to be the main platform because it allows me to write what I want. I could be political there and keep social media just more of rants, daily shit, gym, whatever I want, video games even. That's a fair warning. For all you guys people that don't like video games, you should not watch me on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch anymore because I may even try to kick my son's butt in console games, which is never going to happen. I don't have the dexterity. I'm just going to have fun, okay? I'm going to have fun. I'm going to be working at the coffee shop all morning, so there's going to be lots of videos about, working in the coffee shop, doing all that. I'm going to be driving the truck at night. I may host a live call-in show on Discord every fucking night to keep me awake while I drive, throughout the state. And that's that. I may actually do it that way, not even live stream it, and just do a Discord call-in show. So make sure you follow us on Discord, or maybe maybe I could do that. I could do Discord and then post it on Locals. Best way to do it, go follow us on Locals. You could become a free member. It's fine. And you will get my morning rants and all the stuff that I do. That is the easiest way. And again, it doesn't cost you anything. You have the option of becoming a paid supporter, so you can comment, do all that. Otherwise, you could read the rants, click the links, do all that stuff, just being a free member. So make sure you do that. I will see all of you guys the next time I see you, or if you're on Locals tomorrow morning. Until then, I'm going to go enjoy my family. I suggest you enjoy yours.